Planning Commission meeting of July 26, 2023 to order. First order of business is a roll call. Commissioner Rickard.
Here.
Commissioner Beasy. Commissioner Molitor.
Here.
Commissioner Wu. And Chairman Ankney is here. First order of business after that will be the approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion. If nobody has any questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Guess I better second it.
Yeah, okay. It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up is approval of minutes from our last meeting. I looked them over. I didn't really see anything in it.
This would be the meeting minutes for the 29th of March.
Yeah, be the minutes for,
Right. Yes.
let me pull it out here.
Oh, I didn't realize it's been that long.
It's been a while since we've had a meeting. Meeting from March 29th.
The only question I have, and this is just purely, what do you call, wordsmithing or something, is paragraph 6, talking about notification and noticing. What's the difference between noticing and notification? If we're going to notify somebody, is that a notification? Because we use both words in that paragraph several times, and again, maybe it's just wordsmithing. I thought for sure Bobby would know, being our English expert.
Right, all the times for her to not be here.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I just was wondering what the difference was.
Take a peek at it and see it.
In my pea brain, I would think notifying is in person, noticing is
Publication or something.
obligation.
Okay.
That's how I would
Okay.
assume that.
Well, again, it's not a big deal. Other than that, I think that I make a motion to approve the.
Okay. There's a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Action items. We actually have a public hearing tonight on a special sign permit. Are you here for the special hearing? Public hearing? Okay, do you wish to speak? No.
Winston, are you going to comment on the special sign permit application?
No.
No?
Okay, then you don't need to sign on that.
Oh.
That's just for public comments.
Right.
You
Well-
can speak during our regular public comment. That's just for the public hearing, I guess.
Okay, I'll cross my name off the list.
You're fine.
I don't want to upset the crowd.
Thank you for coming. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and open the public hearing.
On January 30th, 2019, looks like someone should have looked a little closer at their slides there, huh? Let's say July 26th, 2023. So do you want me to go ahead, Mike, and then you'll
Yeah.
read your?
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
So on tonight's agenda is a request for approval of a special sign permit for Aero Construction located at 9915 East Trent. The request is for approval to install a digital reader board in the I-1 Light Industrial District. The presentation that I have for you tonight is pretty simple. The request, I think, is pretty simple. You may or may not know that in our code, it requires any electronic sign to go through a special sign permit. So there's other reasons why we might see a special sign permit, but this is just because this is electronic sign. So just a vicinity map showing the location of Aero Construction there on Trent between Woodruff and Fowler Road. The zoning map, you can see that large square there in the center is the Aero Construction property that is zoned light industrial, and then you can see it's to the west, we've got some C1 general commercial, and then to the east, some more light industrial. This is an aerial photo of the site, and I just put a star there to indicate the location of the existing sign, which is just proposed to be modified. This is just looking at the property from both the east and west as you come down Trent. This is the sign that they're proposing to make alterations to, so you can see that right now there is a message center there. It's a manual change message center. And on the right, you can see the proposed to make it more palatable. I changed it to say Millwood.
Good for you.
So it's like for like, size-wise, just changing it from that manual message center to the electronic message center. So these are your approval criteria from the code. It must be consistent with the purpose and intent of the general plan for the physical development of the neighborhood. And then also that it will not adversely affect the health, safety, and welfare of residents or workers in the area. And then I would also say, you know, the traveling public. That is my presentation. Do you have any questions?
I looked at it, and, you know, it's pretty straightforward. The only thing, and this is just a technicality, he's got the property owner name as Zero Asphalt, and the property owner is actually Lois Farrell. And so just a technicality on the permit, so.
All right.
Commissioner Rickard, any comment? No. Okay. Commissioner Molitor?
I don't.
And seeing that we don't have any public comment, I'm going to close the public hearing. Is that
Are we
protocol?
going to, when do we address Bobby's?
Oh,
Well, so I don't think we officially opened the hearing, so I think you need to open the hearing
okay.
at 6:07.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and open the public hearing, and just so that we are in compliance, I have to ask if there's any conflict of interest.
None.
Any of the commissioners? No, I don't have any. Let's see. We saw the staff presentation, we saw the applicant present, the applicant's not here to do the presentation. Public testimony, we've already just cleared that we're not having, that they're not here to comment on that. So there's no rebuttal. I don't think there's any final questions, so with that, I am going to close the public testimony. And no further comments from the applicant, okay? So now we can decide what we want to do.
So a couple of comments. First, I would draw your attention to the comments submitted by Commissioner Beasy, who couldn't be here tonight. She makes a couple references here. One to a proposed sign code amendment that we had discussed years ago, and some comments about brightness of the sign and adding conditions. I spoke with our legal counsel today to confirm what I thought the right answer here was. And that is that applications that are approved are vested at the time of the application and the approval. So to condition this sign to potentially meet future code amendments that may or may not happen is not legal. And so I would say that this comment is probably, that's all that needs to be said about it. You can't condition it for things that may or may not happen in the future. They are vested at the time that they make application.
That makes sense.
The other thing that I want to say about this sign, and I'll just tell you up front that I happen to know that very likely at your August meeting, you will be having another public hearing on another similar sign on Trent. And in speaking with that sign contractor, completely separate from this, he did tell me that basically all electronic signs that are produced now come with an automatic dimming feature. He said they're really bright during the day to be seen in sunlight, but that they come with an automatic feature that dims them by like 70% after dark. So I think, you know, that would probably accomplish what she's looking for. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that in our code, it does prohibit any flashing lights, pulsating lights, chasing lights, anything of that nature. So that would also be something that would apply to this sign automatically if approved tonight.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
I need to make a motion that we accept that.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the sign as presented.
I make that motion then.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Going for a record tonight, huh, guys?
All right. Agenda item number 6 is public remarks.
You didn't sign in.
That's fine.
Didn't
Just,
violate the rules.
Before you start, though, just be aware that we do have a 3-minute time limit. I'm gonna be a little bit lax on that tonight since we have such a huge group here.
Well, I'll try to
Accommodate.
abide by
Great.
the time.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Winston Wiggins, 9925 East Alton. I have two things tonight, really. One of them is off topic from what you've been talking about here. Obviously, I'm not up to date on the sign situation. I've been concerned about the proposed left turn lane off of Argonne and Dan Park. And I have been encouraging city council members, and by standing here tonight, I'm encouraging the planning commission to get actively involved in this. I'll give you one of the responses I got, okay? Although there is a proposal, it's not fully a proposal until the IE property is resolved. At that point, there will be a proposal, and then there will be a robust discussion about the left turn lane. Now, you'll have to excuse me, I'm not the brightest guy on the block. That really seems convoluted and backwards to me. Time for a robust discussion about whether or not we want a left turn lane over here or not is before we sink a bunch of public money into acquisition of property for a left turn lane. I mean, you guys can help me if I'm off base here. Please say so. And so I'm encouraging you to get involved now, before this thing is already down the track. If the city is successful in acquiring the property, it presupposes a left turn lane. Otherwise, you wouldn't get it. I mean, why would you acquire right away for a transcontinental railroad before you decide whether you want one or not? Doesn't make any sense. So I'm encouraging you to do that, please. I'm pleading with you to get actively involved. The second thing I want to do is to ask you a question, and I hope that you can answer it for me tonight. I'm a little bit unsure about the process by which the public can propose code changes to the city. I don't know if they come to the planning commission. I don't know whether they go to the city council. Both?
They come to me.
They come to you. So they go through you to the city council.
Ultimately, Planning Commission would see any changes to the zoning code, but you make your application through the office.
Okay, but I'm not just talking about zoning codes. I'm talking about any code changes.
The Planning Commission would see any amendment to the zoning code. Amendments to any other chapters would go directly to the city council, but through my office.
Okay. What form should the proposal take? Is that?
There's an application. I can get it to you.
Is it online?
It should be. If it's not, I'll look after the meeting and
Okay,
I can get
if
it to
it's
you.
not, if you could just email it to me
Yeah.
or something, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
So,
There,
okay,
there's a certain time of year that takes
No.
place, right? No, they can do it
Zoning
anytime?
code amendments or code amendments can take place at any time of the year, but if you want, comprehensive plan amendments are only allowed once a year.
Okay,
so the comprehensive plan amendments are the only ones with a date deadline?
Yes.
Okay, that's, okay, you answered my question. That's all I got.
thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Winston.
Yeah,
That thing you read that was a response from somebody, you don't need to tell me who that was, but what kind of person was that? Was that somebody you were just talking to or somebody?
city council member.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, ma'am, anything? You time on the phone?
I was just wondering about the code change.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, well, since there's no more public remarks, that brings us to staff report. Christina?
I don't have a whole lot to report to you tonight from the clerk's office. We had some additional office help over the summer to get our scanning project finally done. We were finally able to send, I don't know, how many boxes, 12?
14.
14 boxes of paper files to the shred. We got them all converted to electronics, so we're continuing to work on that. In the planning office, I did attend 2 farmers markets, June and July. Visited with people just on general matters, nothing specific. We did have a couple movies in the park since I last talked with you. And then there's one more scheduled for the end of August with Millwood Days. From code enforcement, we don't have any open cases right now, aside from one that has moved out of my hands and into litigation. Other than that, I don't have anything to report, I don't think, unless you have questions for me.
What was how was the attendance at the movie evening? I've never attended one.
So the first movie that we did was Back to the Future. We did that in June. We had a very good turnout for that one. Very good being, I'd say probably between 50 and 60 maybe. We were able to get a member of the Pacific Northwest DeLorean Club, I think, came with a DeLorean car and parked it in front of the movie screen. And I can't tell you, it made my night to watch people see that car. And it wasn't little kids, it was people, you know, my age who grew up with the movie or older who really just geeked out over that car. So,
Great.
and then we had a shave ice truck there that night as well. And then just this last Friday, we did a Minions movie. And I had better turnout than I had hoped. It was probably right around 30 folks came out, which is still great. The retro movies seem to do a little bit better than the current kids movies, but Millwood Days, the Millwood Association is showing the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is a new movie. And in the farmer's market, I got a lot of people excited about that one. So we'll see what kind of turnout we get for that. But yeah,
Okay, thank you.
decent turnout.
Good.
Good. Commissioner comments. I've got one. And I'll preface it this way. I am a firm believer in entrepreneurship and being proactive, and I wouldn't say anything except there was a comment made at the public market tonight. Okay? And so I have a question first, because I want to make sure I understand. So those individuals or those businesses that have a booth at the farmer's market, they pay for that, correct? There is a charge?
Well, the city isn't involved in any of that. My understanding is that the Millwood Community Association does have a booth fee.
Okay. So, since the city's not involved, and this may be out of our realm, but what I want to bring up is, and don't get me wrong, I believe in free enterprise and entrepreneurship, but there is some kids, and I'm saying young children, on the corner of Frederick and Willow that have a lemonade stand and water, okay? I think it's awesome, okay? 75 cents for a bottle of water, 25 cents for a cup of lemonade. The issue is when I'm in the market, the vendors are complaining about the kids that are across the street selling liquid, taking business away from them. They have a point. But if we don't, if that's not a city deal, the market needs to take that up.
It is not a city deal. The Millwood Community Association applies every year for a special event permit to hold their event in our park. So if there's problems, it needs to go to the community association.
Other than that,
So
great summer.
let me understand first though. These kids are not in the park, right?
They're across the
Correct.
street.
They're not in the,
Across the street, presumably on someone's property.
well, they're in the right of way.
Okay, well, most lemonade stands are, so that.
No, I understand. No, my issue on that is if that was a business doing that, there would be a business license involved, there'd be other things involved and things like that. And don't get me wrong, if it was Thursday through Tuesday, I'm okay with that. But on the night that people are possibly paying to have customers come into the park, you know, that's no different than somebody trying to undercut the fair prices. But you know what, if it's out of our realm, it's out of our realm. It was a comment. So, Commissioner Molitor, any comment?
Now, I'm kind of surprised that some of the vendors would raise a red flag about that, but other than that, no, I don't have any other comments.
Commissioner Rickard?
No comment.
That's perfect. All right, next meeting,
Wednesday, August 30th.
Wednesday, August 30th. Anything for good of the order? Cool. With that in mind, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn the meeting.
And will you second that, Bill?
I certainly will.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody. And I believe we set a new record.